Hello? Yes, yes, hello. Hello? Hold on. Hello, welcome back. Welcome back to, well, it's not the Nia channel, but the quote-unquote Nia channel. Welcome. Hello. Good to see you again. It's been over a whole year. There is a lot going on. Sorry for the delay. I crashed the computer 3 times. I'm trying. I'm trying my best here. I'm caffeinated. I'm very caffeinated. I am I'm learning. I'm learning new tricks. This is good. And it seems like everything's running okay now, so that's good. I had to resize the scenes so that I would show up properly, and then they crashed, and I learned that there are a bunch of filters baked into the scenes, and then those scenes are referencing other scenes, and then those scenes were also getting blown up to larger scales, and it was a lot for the computer to handle, to which I say Vera could probably arrange things a little bit better on here, but it seems to be okay now. It seems to be alright. Hopefully the microphone is working okay. I tried to turn it up since I'm a little quiet. Sounds like OBS things. I see. Anyway, let me try to get through all of this. I heard a lot of noises popping off while I was setting up. Hello, Gazania. I don't know why you have a dragon. A cat's. I don't know why there's a cat on here now. That seems a little offensive, all things considered. Hopefully it's a tame one though. Restart the I did restart the Veraputer. Yes, thank you, Boob. That's right. You do have that screen name, don't you? Computers are hard for mice. Well, I'm a rat and I'm an expert at computers. Just limited. My knowledge is limited. I can work a spreadsheet very well. I can, word processing. I spent the last year getting very good at word processing. OBS was not part of my training. Vera probably has a scene with 9999 animated GIF. There were a lot of those, yes, that didn't help. But hello, yes, hello, what side as well? And Larkspur, are you a lark? Are you a bird? Do you eat rats? Do you eat rats? Is it safe? Are you safe to have around me, or do you eat rats? I need to know this. But hello, you do have one of those little things next to you, so I assume you are liked here. Let's see. Yellow Moth, hello, welcome Moth, welcome. And Raziel, hello, welcome. And Whatside, thank you for gifting 5 Tier 1 subs to Vera Channel's community. To Asacrio, The Long Apple, X4VI3R, Riley Vorsanger, and Kranag. Thank you. I need to make sure to, since I'm streaming, I should receive part of the income from this, I would like to think. Raziel, thank you for the 30 months as well. I appreciate it. Thank you. Next! Exclamation point next. Is that a Twitch thing? Yes. Exclamation point next to you as well. Mini hearts. Mini rats. I like the rats. So small. Well, really, if you think about it from my perspective, I'm very regular sized and you're all very large, but I suppose this music's loud. I suppose that's relative, and now that I've been in this world for quite some time, I would be the small one. But when I first got here, I would say you were the large ones, as the scale of things was not something I was familiar with. Big To Who. Hello. Welcome. Pog. Hello. Did I get everybody? Rackham Frackham. That is an intimidating emotes you posted. I hope they are well trained. Dragons, cats and rats do not always get along great, but I suppose with the right training it could be okay. Hello Gate Snipe. Did you get into the Dregs of Vera's Gamer Substash? Well, a little bit. I had coffee, and I did have some of that too. I used to not do coffee. It's not so good for me. I'm very small. The caffeine goes a long way, but sometimes you aren't allowed to sleep. Sometimes the crushing weight of reality keeps you awake and needing to do things, so you stay caffeinated and you deal with the consequences later. I did have a little bit of the sups. The names on those things are very suspicious, and I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure why you would drink something called thigh sweat or titty milk, but that isn't actually what they contain. So it seems to be okay, and I am a little buzzed off of that right now. Nia Nia like a star. Oh, it's like the song that was on before. Uh, Hi, hello, Booba. Um, let's see. I'm catching up slowly but surely. Higado Iranon. Hello again. I remember you. I remember you. Hello, welcome. I'm very rusty on all this stuff. I've popped in from time to time to see what was going on with the streaming, but not consistently. And I did review our old VOD a while back to try to remember some of the names here. Buttspot is not a name I remember. Hello, Buttspot. Fangu Butt. Asha the Croc. Yes, that is a sentence, I suppose. I only know English here, unfortunately. I apologize for that one. Unless it was offered. Oh, as far as that, yeah, I would not like to. Yes, if you're not going to eat me, then you are more than welcome here. Welcome, Larkspur. I am not offering myself up to be eaten. I'd rather like not being eaten. Hello, Crimson Blade 49. Welcome. That's a new face I've definitely not seen before. Mousy 3 spend. That's a very fast mouse. That is kind of how I feel right now. That's a little how I'm feeling right now. I get it. I understand. They probably got into the coffee and the sups as well. Good for them, as long as they're okay. You want a long apple? I want a long apple. That would be a lot of apple. I deserve a cut for sure. I do deserve a cut. I am streaming here, and I had to fix everything. I had to delete so many scenes to get it running. I'm sure there's a restore somewhere, so that should hopefully be okay. But it's running now. Coffee makes a nice light snack. It does. Hello, Realty Trends. How is the Realty trending? I hope it is trending well. But hello. I'm here. You're suffering connection and delays. I am very sorry to hear that. I hope your connection levels out. Is the thigh flavor any good? Well, I think she had them mixed together, so I'm not really sure specifically. It seemed like there were 3 or 4 different things mixed together in the one container, but it tasted kind of okay. It tasted like a fruit punch, but that might have been some of the other things that were in there too. I don't know what you would call that when you just mix all of the drink powders together. You only drink Monster Hunter Mega Potion. That sounds... I do like potions. I haven't had many potions in this world. It tends to be that the potions in this world do not match up with the potions from my world. They're very different objects. They're usually just potion-inspired. But I'm always willing to try a potion. I'm always willing to try a potion. That sounds good. Hello, Alistar. Welcome back. Good to see you again. It is trending trademark. Fantastic. I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Chef surprise. Oh, my heart's racing. I think I'll be okay, though. Anyway, hello. A lot of you are probably meeting me for the first time. I've only been here once before, and now I'm here for the second time, although I have been around in the background for a little while here. You may have seen a note from me a while back. I'm not sure, but potentially. I think Vera may have penned it. I'll do a little bit of an introduction for everyone so you remember who I am in a moment here. Where are the files? I'm sorry, I had to reset everything, so all the things I had opened are no longer open. So it will be just a moment while I get that sorted out. Oh, well, there's my presentation. I found my PowerPoint. I made a nice PowerPoint for you all to make it easier. Yeah, I posted this this letter. I posted this letter at the beginning of the year. I don't know if you all saw that. It has a lot of information in it that we'll touch on eventually. Today is a combination of business and pleasure. I will catch up with you all. I will tell you what I've been up to, and then I need to get into some more serious topics with regards to Vera Proxima. But yes, that is something you may have seen a while back. You can leave now. Get out of here. Thank you. And with that out of the way, I suppose you remember seeing me before. I remember you as well. I remember quite a few of you. Not all of you, but quite a few. Congratulations on the first Booba. I remember somebody got the first the last time I was here, so it's not really first anymore if it's still first a year later, is it? That doesn't seem quite right. You're only just realizing that letter was from me. Yes, that was from me. Sorry, I was kind of in a hurry and a little frazzled over events, so I just signed it in. I should have been more clear. I apologize about that. Congratulate. Wait, I am I do apologize. I do apologize, Chad. I believe that this first redeem is broken, and people seem to be continually redeeming it. Hello, Dr. Freenote. I regret to inform you are not actually the first. The rest of you, I believe, have been here. Manuel of Arms, I remember you. You're also not first. I, Unfortunately, I think you're being scammed. I think you may be getting scammed right now, and I apologize. Um, there may be some things that need to be fixed on this stream. I will let Vera know. Anyway, without further ado, I have a PowerPoint presentation I prepared for all of you. This is your first time seeing a mouse on this channel, probably. Well, welcome. I don't think I've seen you around before, so welcome. I'm Nia, and I have a slideshow, and that's the transition. Sorry, I'm a little jittery today. I've been working on this presentation for a while. I'm not used to streaming. Streaming's not usually my cup of tea, but it is my cup of multiple cups of coffee and my G-subs today, and just collecting a lot of notes, and it's nice to talk to people outside of a work environment for a change. So that's what we're going to do. I don't think I can. Can I put a PDF in? No, I cannot put a PDF in OBS. Hold on. Let me get this PDF running in another screen. Have I ever fallen into a cup of tea? Well, yes. But to be fair, it was a very long evening. And to be fair, another time, you know, in an emergency, a cup of tea can serve as a temporary hot tub if you need to just relax or take a bath. Not a very good bath because you get tea on you. I suppose that's not the dirtiest thing in the world, but when you're this small and all of the things you're used to being your size are actually giant, you can use them for different purposes. So a cup of tea could be a bath if you wanted it to be, or you you may have had a little bit too much to drink at a company party and you fell into a cup of tea and now everyone's laughing at you, and you're sick of them, and you're sick of them making jokes at your expense. But that's not a scenario I'm familiar with. Tea's probably good for your skin. Not sure about for. I I mean, if it's unsweetened, it could be a lot worse. It's probably okay. Let me. How do I get this up on the screen? How do I make this show for everyone? Window capture? Window capture? No. Wait. Oh, I see a Firefox. That does not work. Oh, this is not a Firefox. This is a. Oh, it's an Explorer just like me. I'm kidding. I'm familiar with. I've been around long enough to know Internet Explorer sucks. I'm a much better explorer than Internet Explorer is. Hold on. I'm not as foreign to your world as I used to be. I've been here a while. I've been learning the ways. I understand things a little bit better. So you may realize that I'm actually fairly educated on the ways of Earth. And I'll be a better streamer for it, I think. What an edgy joke. Edge is like Explorer, Windows, Microsoft, Internet Explorer, and Edge. They're the same, but they're not. I don't understand the branding, but I get it. I understand the joke. I get it. It's a good joke. I approve of this joke. Thank you for the joke. It is funny. Opening up the survival kit to open the emergency hot tub. Yes, exactly. And you can have a very creative survival kit in this world. All right. So, do we? We should have music here too, shouldn't we? I think music would be nice here. We could. Let me see here. How do I bring the music? We'll go back here, and then I'll grab the music, and then I'll copy it. And then I'll go back here. And then, oh, it's already here. I didn't need to copy it. It's already here. I just needed to make it on. There we go. There we go. There's music. PowerPoint. This is a PowerPoint stream. Yes, because PowerPoint is a working professional's tool that you can use for things, and that is what we're doing. We're using the tool for things. What song has PowerPoint energy? Is that PowerPoint energy? Is this PowerPoint energy? Give it a moment. Give it a moment. It might be. I'm not sure. Seems more dancey than PowerPointy. No, that's not PowerPoint music. This could be PowerPoint music. I could make this into PowerPoint music. Alright, welcome! Powerful buzzword synergy. That's right. These are the words of the successful. You are very familiar. Good for you. Good for you. Welcome to the Nia Report by Nia Neotoma. That's me. My last name's Neotoma, by the way. Interestingly enough, that is a scientific word in your vocabulary for the wood rat. I don't have scientific words like that in my vocabulary, but it's my last name, so that worked out rather conveniently, if I do say so myself. Leverage some actionable. Absolutely. Today, on the Nia Report, we shall be covering 3 major topics. First will be my reintroduction. As it has been slightly over a year since I was here last, a reintroduction is in order for new visitors to my segment, my very rare, infrequent segment, and it might be a nice refresher for those who have met me before. Secondly, we will go into the year in review. What have I been up to since we last talked? I would also love to know what you've been up to since we last talked, because a year is a long time. A lot of things can happen in a year. Many things. Many, many things. As is true with my year, and probably is true with many of yours. And finally, we will wrap up with the Vera situation, which is why I decided to host this stream in the first place. However, I need social interaction. That's not my job. And so I'm here, talking to you. And I'm going to pad it out so I can have more conversation time. I need friends. I won't lie. A reintroduction. Hello, who am I? My name is Nia Neotoma. I am 16 centimeters tall. You know, I am fairly tall for a rat, I must say. I suppose that's about 6 to 7 inches, if you're using the English system of measurements. We use centimeters in Ivalon. So I'm a rat, as I mentioned, and my home is Ivalon. Ivalon is a different world than this. In fact, I think it is a different dimension altogether. I don't think that world exists in your solar system. I think it is on a separate plane of being from your solar system, and we will get into the details of that later as a refresher for those, once again, who were not there last time. My employability rating is high, so if you need someone for your job, please consider that I am very employable. I'm doing this introduction sort of like a VTuber introduction. Considering I'm sitting in for a VTuber stream, I figured it would be good to do like a VTuber HoloLive style introduction. So I hope you enjoy it so far. Everybody does need friends, Dr. Frino. You are quite correct. Lurking a bit, thanks for the gifted sub. Hello, Riley of Warsanger. Welcome. I hope you enjoy your sub and all of the things that come with a sub. Cheese. There's often cheese on a sub. And then you might have pepper and different meat and vegetables. Oh, that's really loud. Pardon the loud music. This is not spreadsheet music, once again. Well, this is exciting spreadsheet music. We can work with exciting spreadsheet music. That seems okay. Alright, so moving on. My likes. I enjoy adventuring. dungeon exploration, solving mysteries. We actually solved a mystery the last time I was here. We solved the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, he wasn't actually murdered, but we still solved it. We still cracked the case, and that's what really matters. I'm very good at mysteries. Adventuring, dungeon exploration, those all lead to my previous life before arriving here. Dragon slaying. Now, I put an asterisk here because dragons to me are a little different than dragons to you. I've seen the dragons to you. The dragons to you are large lizards. Dragons to me are what you would refer to as a cat. They are smaller, furrier, ears similar to that of a rat, but larger and angled slightly different. But their stance is very different, and they're very threatening, and they like to eat rats. And that's not okay. That is a bad thing. Don't trust a dragon. Don't trust a dragon. That being said, the cats in this world seem to be often well behaved too. However, I have had issues with cats in the past, such as when I first got here and I was staying at Vera's apartment. There was a green cat, and it was a nuisance, and I was scared for my life. And thankfully for Vera, really, thankfully for Vera, really, that cat has continued to follow me, and only me, and it didn't seem to stay in the area. So I'm still getting followed around by a green cat that seems to want to eat me, and I'm not a fan of that. I wish it would have stayed here instead of following me, but when a rat leaves an apartment, of course, the satanic being living outside is going to follow and become just a continual frustrating stalker while I'm trying to just live my life normally. I don't like that cat. I really wish it would go away. I also like cheese. Cheese is delicious. I do like cheese a lot. Cheese is very good. Seems to be a little bit of a cliche, but it's based in a reality. Cheese is delicious. I understand. Cats are very threatening. I'm sad to be the pet of a cat, but I'm on vacation, so you don't have to worry about her wrath for a while. I'm very sorry about your predicament, but I'm glad you're able to get away for just a little while, at the very least. Well, thank you for the cheer, Booba. I appreciate it. Hurrah! Hurrah for getting away from the cat. Hard or soft cheese? Why all of the cheeses, really? It's hard to choose a favorite. I want all of the cheese. Just every cheese. I'm not picky. If you know a cheese guy, hit me up. I ain't afraid of a back alley cheese. I will eat the back alley cheese. They can't stop me. They don't know my life. I can handle cheese. Any of them. Thank you for cheese. Thank you for cheese. I appreciate it. I wish I could eat it, but just the thought of it is bringing me a lot of strength right now that I really need right now, frankly. So thank you for the cheese. It ain't easy being cheesy. It is not. If cats are dragons and dragons are cats, do you think Daenerys from Game of Thrones would have the personality of a crazy... I haven't actually seen the Game of Thrones. I know that was a show and a book. I assume Daenerys has ties to your world's dragons, which I guess would be their world's dragons in their own thing, because their world is not your world, because it's a fantasy world, closer to my world, but not really my world. It's a little different than my world. But by your standards, my world would be considered a quote-unquote fantasy world. It seems that she or he, I'm not sure about who Daenerys is. Crazy Cat Lady seems like it would probably fit. This seems accurate. I think this seems like a reasonable assumption to draw. Moving on, Ivalon. I love my home world. Speaking of my home world, it was a wonderful, wonderful world, and I miss it so much. I've been trying to get back there for the last year. I'll get into the details of why I'm not there soon, but what you should know is that we were a wonderful society, similar to your own, but very magical. Not that your world is not magical so much, but I've yet to find the magic in your world, so maybe your world isn't magical. I'm sure it has its pluses, though. I'm sure it has its perks, but it was a very magical world. We did have a lot of similar technology, but it was a little different, too. And, lots of dungeons and dungeon crawling. I was a dungeon crawler back in my old world. I was an explorer and a dungeon crawler. Whenever there was a new dungeon, I was immediately on the trail. Gotta explore it from top to bottom, fight the boss. We all love fighting bosses. It's a good time. It doesn't go as well in this world, but it goes very well in mine. And I want to go back. Speaking of crossover worlds, is there a variation of Redwall stories in Evil One? I'm not familiar with Redwall. I'll have to look into that one. Let me see here. Probably shouldn't be opening too many extra things, but... Redwall. I need to read this. I have not seen this before, but... Brian Jacques, if that's how you read it, may know something. This author might know something about my world. Because it doesn't seem that far off. Are they even around still is the question. Yeah, okay, no they are not. Well, I'm sorry for their loss, but that seems like someone who may have known something about my home, because this Redwall series seems very similar to my own world. Is there a variation of Redwall? Well, considering those stories seem very reminiscent of my own homeworld, we did not have stories that reminded me greatly of this world. I didn't actually encounter humans until coming here. So, not one for one, but there might have been something comparable. I will definitely take a look, though. Thank you for letting me know. What other likes do I like? Birds that are nice. That's right, birds that are nice. Well, we met Lark earlier tonight. Lark seems nice. There was Frexel the chicken we met previously, despite the cannibalism, which is a little concerning. Also very nice bird. Also a very nice bird. I like birds that are nice. They are good. Additional likes include friendship, love, happiness. I think those are fairly universal. However, they're good. They're good things to have. I like friendship, I like love, and I like happiness. There's not much more to say. I think everyone should share those likes. They make life a lot more joyous and just better. They just make life better. Dislikes, dragons. Again, the dragons in your world seem to be a little better, but understand that as a rat, most of them are threatening, regardless. Bureaucracy, birds that are mean, upper management, the soul-crushing reality. We're just going to move on to a year in review. Year in review. And it says year at the bottom. That is a typo. It's not supposed to say year at the bottom. Year in review. What have I been up to this past year? How did I get here? Well, as an adventurer, I would always spring up in the morning, spring out of bed. Here's a dramatic recreation of me springing out of bed in the morning. That's not what I look like springing out of bed in the morning. I lied to you. I am sorry. I would wake up in the morning and I would look for news on any new dungeons opening up near the city. Dungeons just spring up overnight sometimes. And when a dungeon springs up, that's, dozens, hundreds of levels of content to explore, loot to be found, real life content. In this world, content seems to mostly be things you consume on the internet, or in a book, or on TV. But a dungeon, that's the realest content of them all. You have to be the first in a dungeon. All the good loot will go if you aren't the first in the dungeon. Someone will get to it first, and you can't let them get to it first. You have to get it first. The loot needs to be yours. Hello, VVOO. Welcome. Welcome with the raid. Let's go back to the office for a moment. Welcome! Welcome, VVOO and Raiders! Welcome! Hi, Vera. Vera's not here today. Vera's not here today. I'm Nia. Hello, Raiders. I'm Nia. I have not been here in a while. Last time I was here was April of last year, and I'm here today doing a little bit of a reintroduction, then I'm going to touch on some news, and I'm just doing a little presentation for you all, but I appreciate the raid. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I hope you enjoy your stay, and I hope you had a good stream as well. There's a command for this. Hold on. It is that this channel you are shouting out does not exist. I'll get there. There we go. There we go. What were you up to today, VVOO? Welcome in. It is nice to meet you. Oh, you are not real. You are not real. Oh, were you having a ghost stream? Fallout 4. That's, they just made a show of that. That's the Wastelands, the sci-fi with the Wastelands. I hope you had fun with it. I hope you had a fun Fallout 4. I hope you fell out. I assume you fall out in the game. What are you falling out of, exactly? You're falling out of a vault, right? You fall out of a vault into the wasteland. That's why it is called Fallout. You fall out for the boys. Oh, I see. Oh, like Dance Dance and Sugar we're going down. They make music. Anyway, let's get back to the presentation. We can continue this discussion over there. You fall out of a vault, and then you make a friend, but you have a falling out. That is unfortunate. Falling out with friends are very hard. I hope you can be friends again, Vivi. I know it's hard, but maybe you both need to grow separately for a while, and then friendship can come back later. I am very sorry. You'll recover. You are strong. You are a strong bird. You are a strong... Another nice bird. Another nice bird is here, see? I like nice birds. As we mentioned on the previous slide, birds that are nice are one of my likes. You are strong and you will recover. So anyways, nice bird. I woke up one morning ready to spring into action to explore a new dungeon that had popped up overnight. I wanted to be first. I was up and raring to go first thing in the morning. I got dressed, I got my sword, I got all my gear together. I ran out the front door, and wouldn't you know it, one of the tamed transportation dragons crashed into me full speed, knocking me high into the air, and with that my consciousness faded. From there I awoke in a strange giant's room. In that strange giant's room was the apartment of Vera Proxima. And that's how I ended up in this world instead of my own. A freak dragon accident. You really have to watch out for those tamed dragons. I know they're very convenient for transportation purposes, but if you lose control of one of those things, they can be very dangerous on the road. So, from that point on, my first course of action was to explore what was available to me, and what was available to me was a door I could not open because I was too small, and a computer, and an internet connection. So I decided that I would use Vera's stuff to reach out and communicate, so I kept myself entertained, but also it was my way of trying to reach out and get any attention I could to help me get out of there. Fortunately, I was able to get out by the end of the day. I worked up the courage and I went out the window that I was going to try to use earlier, but the cat that continues to stalk me was out there and made it very difficult for me. So that was my first day in your world. You like big birds and you cannot lie. Good. They can go ballistic and run into things without care. It's tragic, really. Thankfully I lived? Question mark. That's a question. I'm not sure. I've familiarized myself with the isekais, because they're a big thing in your world, and it seems, generally speaking, they're not living, they're dying and they're reincarnating. I'd like to think I lived, but I am in my original form. So that kind of makes me feel like I survived. I just got knocked very, very far away. So what have I been up to since that day, April 2nd, 2023, until present? Well, I began my search, I began my journey looking for my way home. I don't know how to get home from this world. And I think it's evident. It's evident at this point that I didn't make it home, or I wouldn't be here talking to you. Unfortunately, it is nice to talk to you all. See a lot of familiar faces, meet some new faces. You sure I'm a survivor? I appreciate that. I would like to think so. I think I'm fairly capable of surviving. My training in the dungeons wasn't for nothing, you know? Well, as I have not been able to find my way home in that time, I decided to look into temporary employment in this world, because even though I don't intend to stay here, I still need to survive, and with that I need an income, and the cost of living in this world is awful. Especially here. I could have isekai'd into a cheaper part of the country, but no. No, I'll be here instead, that's fine. Thank you for Bay Area housing rates, that's very nice. You try to rent a 12 by 12 inch box to live out of and call a home, and they want to charge you $500,000, and believe it or not, there isn't a very good exchange rate when you're channeled between dimensions when a stray dragon runs into you. Might be too dangerous to have another... I get that they're cats in your world, I understand. But just run into your full... I really would prefer not to have another... I mean... I could... If I find a dragon or cat, if I was to find a dragon or a cat that did not want to eat me and just wanted to run at me at high speeds, it may be possible to recreate the accident that brought me to this world. It's possible I could get myself knocked back into my own dimension. Possibly. Only $500,000, that's pretty good. Better if I had any sort of... Well, I do have an income because I'm very well employed now, but it's not quite enough. Not quite enough, unfortunately. Oi, Butty. Oh, oi, oi. I'm sorry about this butt spot. I don't know who they are, but they just seem to say butt a lot, which is strange, but honestly, it's the internet, and I've been around the internet long enough to know that this is actually kind of normal. Oi, oi, Ika. Welcome in. It is good to see you. That much for a small box? In my area, you could live in that same box for a month. I wish that was the rate here. Maybe I need to just move myself to another part of the country. But also, I'd rather just move myself back to my own world. Anyway, the search began. I needed money, so I sought temporary employments. With my experiences as a detective, I began working. Also, I drew this, by the way. I drew this picture. I did some art on stream last year, and it was not great, so I've been practicing. Hopefully this is a lot better. I think I did myself, I think I did a very good drawing of myself. I think I pulled it off nicely. I became a private detective because I had training as a private detective, and I'm very good at it, actually. So I became a private detective, and I pursued that for a while. Very charming portrait. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll make sure to do more in the future. He's surprised Buttspot hasn't latched on to anything you've said this stream. He's in a different chat, and you swear every other thing I say. I think you can change things with it, maybe? I don't know. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Hello, Liu Bebe. Welcome. It's good to see you. I hope you are well. I remember that name from last year as well. Thank you for subscribing for 17 months. Once again, I need to remind Vera that some of this money does belong to me. I should be compensated for my time here, even though I kind of demanded it. I think it's fair. Only fair. Hello, Halbrook. Welcome. Welcome. That is a nice crab. Hello. What was I saying? Yes, private detective. I got a job as a private detective because of my experience as a private detective. I was very good at it. I just decided to leave. I decided I did not want to be employed in my well-paying private detective job, and it has nothing to do with my experience in playing a video game not being good enough for me to maintain the job. It's not for me having references that, well, here when your references are from a different when your references are from a different world altogether, it's very hard for people to check your references. So you have to stretch the truth a little bit. Sometimes you stretch the truth because no one's going to believe you when you say your references, because they can't contact your references because they live in a different world where everyone's a rat. And they should be able to realize this is true because you yourself are a rat trying to get a job, but then they just accept your references, but then they try to look into the references and they realize you've been lying to them on the references, and then you try to explain that they can't contact your actual references because they don't have phone numbers, because they don't live in this world that relies on the same phone system you do. And then they ask you about your experience as a private detective, and then you tell them you solved the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, and they tell you that doesn't count and that you could serve jail time, so get the hell out of this office. Long story short, I've decided that as a detective, my skills are in very large demand, and it'd be better for me to pursue other work to pay the bills. And I could just freelance as a detective. I don't need to be tied down to a certain office as a detective when I can just do it on my own and not face any sort of scrutiny over completely legitimate experience that I brought to the table. It's very rude of them. It's incredibly rude of them. But it's okay, because this opened up many possibilities for my future and my very employable self to be a detective on the side while I worked my other passions, such as medical lab technician. I became a medical lab technician following my job as a detective. I do not have a picture of me in my medical lab gear, unfortunately. You remember struggling to get references in the past. It's hard. It's a challenge. It's especially hard when all of your references are people from another world. And also when you don't have any of the qualifications for the job you're looking for. But that's not my fault. You should get a trigger-happy Logomorph sidekick for your freelance detective agency. Are those available? I might have to ask you about that later. That sounds kind of helpful, if not a little unhinged. Anyway, the medical lab technician job went fine. It went fine. The medical lab technician job went very fine. I'm going to go into it a little more later because it does circle back. A lot of things circle back in this presentation, so we're going to talk about what I did at the lab technician job a bit more later in the evening. However, I was very good at that job as well, and I left of my own accord. I left for my own reasons, and I was not let go. I did a great job in the medical lab. Just a side note, not pertaining to me, but just for reference to all of you, you cannot bring in your own samples to be tested and claim that they are from actual paying clients when that is not true. And then using their equipment for your own experiments and tests, when there is no actual client that exists, is not something that is approved of. And I would not do that, as I'm a very diligent, good worker. But, a lot of people do run into this fatal flaw, and I think it's important to know that before pursuing a career as a medical lab technician. Is right. Finally, lab-grown cheese. Maybe I should go back to being a medical technician, actually. That's not a bad idea. Unfortunately, I did not try to make cheese while I was there, but I would. I would go back to make cheese in a heartbeat if they would hire me, which they would hire me because I was great at my job. But maybe to be safe, I'll try a different lab position elsewhere when I look into that. That seems okay. That seems like a fine choice. Moving on. My current job, after having left my position as a medical lab technician. I have landed in industry. I have landed a cushy office job working on products. I work in the arts of advanced receptioning. I am a phone communications expert. Organizational optimization strategies are an expertise of mine. I have many talents at my job that will carry me very far. I'm a supply coordinator. I have advanced product knowledge. I could tell you anything about the product my company makes. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I can confirm to you that our product is the best product, and I'm well aware of its strengths and weaknesses, and its usability and techniques, its functions, the many implementations of our product is very strong. I will absolutely help you write your resume. You have a question? Certainly, Talking Trash. Certainly, and welcome. I remember your name. I'm not going to bingo, I'm right here. We're doing a presentation. There's no bingo at the presentation. I don't understand your question. Where's everyone going, bingo? I don't work at a bingo store. We don't sell bingo here, Trash. We don't sell bingo. I'm sorry to disappoint. That might be something Vera sells normally on this stream. Is the product your company makes finite and adheres to Euclidean geometry? Yes, but very, very good. It's very good at it. It's finite, but on the upper end of finite. And its geometry is very dynamic in that it fits where you need it to when you use it for its intended purposes. Do you think you'll have a little mouse person to get you coffee? Wait. Supply coordinator, product knowledge advanced, catering to the... Ignore the last couple... Please ignore the last couple bullet points on this page. I wrote this last night, and I may have been a little upset about things. Don't worry. Just know that my product knowledge is good. I'm good at product knowledge and management of the things that I manage at my job. Thank you. I will have a little... Well, I'll have a human person, a large... Well, I know exactly who I'd like to have serving me coffee, the fuckhead. I fucking hate him. I wish he would die. I'm good at my job. In conclusion, I'm doing great. I may be in this world, but I'm doing great. I'm thriving, and I'm very employable. I'm doing a great job on Eartha. But if you want to hire me for another job, I will take it. I will work good, I swear. Let's have our last cup of... I've heard that song. That was a good song. I heard the Doki bird. The Doki bird seems like a nice bird. I heard the Doki bird sing it. The more the slideshow goes on, the more employable... I'd like to think so. I would like to think so. I've got many good mugshots. That's worth something, right? Finally, we reached the crux of the stream situation. Hold on, I need to drink real quick. I'm doing great, though. I want you to know I'm doing great. I'm doing a really good job in this world. It's been a good year. It's been a great year. It's been a wonderful year, actually. I'm doing fantastic. And my jobs are doing great. I need another drink real quick. Hold on one moment. Sorry. You know, let's just go to break for a second real quick. One moment. One moment. Sorry about that. Sorry, I'm back. Hello. I suddenly needed another drink. We're good now. Anyway, back to the slideshow. Yes, the Vera situation. Thank you. Welcome back to you as well. The Vera situation. I did not finish slides for that, but I do have additional referential material to go along with the Vera situation. Let me pull that out here real quick. And of course I had everything open, but then the computer crashed multiple times as I was preparing the presentation, so we're a little backed up, and I'm going to have to find some of the objects again. You love Vera. Vera seems nice. However, there is some important information that I feel the need to share with all of you in regards to Vera. I asked her not to come today for a reason. None of this is anti-Vera propaganda. However, it is alarming, and it's information that I need to share with you all privately. I suppose this is publicly, but without Vera here, rather. Wouldn't be the first time. You hope nothing explodes. Well, nothing will explode today. However, things have exploded in the past. Yes, that's, My apologies as I try to dig everything up. Alright, first of all, there was this note that I mentioned earlier in the stream. I know you are privy to some information already, as this was in fact pinned on Vera's Twitter account. On October 31st, 2023, Vera Proxima exploded in a laboratory accident. All that remains on site is a large, hastily constructed cocoon. She'll be back. Signed, Nia. P.S. Happy New Year's, friends. It's very impressive, but you really miss her. Well, see, that's where things get very odd with this situation. That's where things get very strange. And let me find the videos I obtained earlier. Turn this music down or off? Turn the music off for now, I suppose. Alright, I grabbed some videos. Let's see. Oh, this first one is not actually pertaining to Vera at all, so I just didn't play it earlier. For those who didn't meet me last year, this was when I first arrived. This was when I first arrived in your location, in your world, on Eartha, coming from Ivlin, a year ago. Well, a year and 2 weeks ago, I suppose it would be. A year and 2 weeks ago, when I first showed up here. Getting ready to go out to the dungeon, and then transported here after the accident I mentioned with the dragon earlier. It was a good stream, though. It was fun. It was fun hanging out with you all and learning little by little more about your world. And now I've lived in it for a whole year, and I've worked many jobs. I've engaged with media. I've watched some streams here and there, but I'm more of a lurker. Now, the first video I'm going to pull up is something a lot of you may have seen, but I have not watched in full. However, it seems very relevant to a lot of the things I have discovered since reuniting with Vera. I didn't actually meet her back in April, but we did have some communication since I did show up in her home and use her equipment. However, we had plans. Sorry, I need to take another drink. We had plans. We did have some plans, and those plans involved us meeting up again. And I discovered a lot of things I didn't realize at that point, and this seemed relevant, so let me put this on real quick. Pretty sure you saw her after that. She had some cool rooftop parties. She did, and I actually have a clip from that. It's very strange, but we'll get to that in due time. Hopefully this is playing okay. Yes. So this was from the October 31st stream. And
I've always been here.
It's very alarming.
For the last 24 years.
As a warning in advance.
Your existence was concerning.
This person talking right now,
Human,
to the best of my understanding...
metal, and
Wait, hold, pause. Pause. Well, that's not right at all. Yeah, that's... We're going to circle back to this bit later. This is not accurate. These numbers don't add up correctly. However, we will return to it. Let's just let it play out first, I suppose.
Your life in that bunker meant nothing would change.
It's not right. It's
When you left below surface, I followed you.
strange.
I needed no
So,
evidence of your
my understanding is that this voice you're hearing right now is the voice of
realize the plan.
Pazuzu. Pazuzu, from my research,
A scary villain.
I don't know, I guess like Jigsaw or something.
Okay, thanks.
well, Jigsaw's from the Saw movies. Pazuzu, though,
Found a new identity.
Pazuzu is an ancient Mesopotamian demon and
And it tricked you into a deep sleep for 1 month.
god of the wind demons, king of the wind demons.
As long as I work hard, I'll have my rent paid off in no time.
Drink the ink.
Hello,
I
variable
should
goo.
drink all of the ink.
You should not drink ink. Ink is not food. Do not drink ink. Chat, if you do not drink ink,
Okay,
that's
yeah,
not
but
food.
We've been through this part a million times already. At the end, I beat you at a bunch of games, and I kicked your ass, and I got out of there and I woke up.
Alright, so the demon...
What you saw as a victory over evil was a ruse at the end of a trial. It had become apparent you knew nothing of your true form. I let you continue on your way, and followed you every single step.
Let me pause that again. Sorry, it's really hard talking over this thing. It's confusing. The demon is Pazuzu. The demon's Pazuzu, who is an ancient Mesopotamian demon. Pazuzu was the demon king of, like, the Eastern Winds, or something like that. A king of demons. And, looking into Pazuzu's histories, Pazuzu was a demon of disaster, but also famine, which, that's in line. But then, strangely, also a protector, which seemed very backwards, seemed very in opposition to the other roles of Pazuzu as a demon. Pazuzu protected the women and the children, protected people from other demons. Pazuzu's role as a demon was both as a destroyer and a force of destruction, but also as a counter to other demons that existed at the time. Pazuzu worked alone. Pazuzu did not want other forces getting in the way. I know that apartment. Oh my god. What's going on? What's going on? Is this a raid? What is this? I don't know what we're looking at. Wait, that's Pazuzu. That's Pazuzu, yes. Hello? Hello? I don't know what are we doing here? What is going on? Why are we in a party? I don't understand. That music was a little alarming. It's not bad. I just didn't expect it to happen. Sticker party. A sticker. Oh, I see. It's Azumanga. I've seen that. I watched that. It has the Bill Clinton cat thing in it. I think the confetti is part of the sticker party. Should I move? I suppose I should move. Hello? Thank you for the sticker party. I didn't know that it would turn into an actual party, but I appreciate the party. It was a nice change of pace. Things are a little serious right now. I like the stickers. There are a lot of stickers. There are so many stickers. We will not run out of stickers here. Thank you. Thank you for the stickers. So yeah, that's Pazuzu. That's Pazuzu usually does not have cat ears. Pazuzu does not usually have cat ears, and is usually not vomiting out a rainbow or blushing. However, back to the point at hand, Pazuzu is in fact a demon who causes destruction and also is very territorial of other demons causing destruction. That was my point before things went crazy. A little bit of crazy is fun. I like crazy. My life is very boring and I need more crazy. So I appreciate the sticker party. It just caught me off guard a bit. Thank you for that. Thank you. Continuing where we left off.
You thought nothing of it.
You have a question. What is your question? I still don't know about the bingo. I apologize.
Unfortunately, people began to make you question your own humanity, or lack thereof.
Will this be on the finals? No, this is the finals. Don't worry.
Merriam-Webster defines the essential meaning of human as both relating to or affecting people, the human body, the human brain.
That's right. That's right. So Vera did not realize she was not human at first. She didn't realize that she herself was a chimeric robot thing before. I suppose you shouldn't call people things. Chimeric robot person before. There's a lot of denial going on here is what I'm getting out of this. I understand. I would be alarmed too if I suddenly found out I wasn't a rat one day.
Therefore, I have a brain. That's as simple as that goes.
As someone from a world without humans,
That made the truth apparent to you.
a lot of people aren't rats.
I'm ready.
Some
Human, thank you. Thank you.
oh,
Let's go.
she was deep in it. She was very deep in the denial. Oh. Oh wait, hold on. Oh, I can barely read that. How do you read things on this stream? That's okay, well those numbers aren't right either. Those numbers are also not right, so I'm not really we'll come back to it, but I do pity her a little bit. This is kind of sad, but you know, just accept yourself for who you are.
You were certified 100% human.
It would be disorienting to find out I was a shrew. That is fair. That is absolutely fair. I understand. You remember this? I remember this. Well, I guess Buttspot is more active again. Oh, I can barely read it on desktop, and I can resize it.
Oh no.
At this point, it was clear I needed to take
I haven't met that fish. I've seen that fish around a lot, though.
the existential dread
Didn't it change
of
clothes?
your new form.
I think it changed clothes.
Led your body to undergo changes. Before finally
Oh.
pupating. Preparing to evolve into a higher form.
Wait, so that happened back then?
I couldn't let that pass.
So this already happened. This is not new material. Oh, the screen is a good idea. I should do that.
So I devised another plan. Electrocute yourself.
It's a much nicer cocoon.
Got it. Okay. No, I got it. I know what we're doing. I know
Oh
what
my
we're doing.
God.
I know what we're doing. I got this figured out. We're fine. Okay, back to the lab. All right. I got the process figured out. The secrets is we need more electricity. So let's just get the electricity going again.
No. Chat. She's not the smartest. She's not the smartest, is she? Listen, she seems very nice, but just
Yep, okay. Alright. You should be fine now. You should be fine. A little more electricity and I'll be good to go in no time. My body is perfectly fine. It's just a little incapacitated at the moment, but I'm sure it's going to recover and everything is going to be great and we're not going to have any issues. God damn it, it's caught on fire again.
so watching this, a lot of what's new is not actually so new, as it turns out. I may have underestimated how much has happened.
I had been tied to you ever since. I infiltrated your deepest thoughts when you fell into that deep sleep. But I needed to do
Also,
something
hello,
about
DJ
it once
Amamiya.
more to return
Welcome.
to the bunker. So I staged the exorcism.
Gamers don't look up inwardly or into the original of Strange Impulses. Apparently not. Oh, there's the fish again. Why is... So Pazuzu's stealing its cheese puffs.
Led you to accidentally unleash me into your computer network, which I gained access to when you uploaded your consciousness
Fuller hydrate, I will.
after the electrocution.
My
And
cooler has been
here we
hydrated.
are, in the final moments of your life, as I destroy you once and for all.
So she was a cocoon, and then she was not a cocoon. She stopped being a cocoon. You're muted. You're muted, by the way, you're muted.
That was a lot.
Thank you. I like that hair. It's nice.
That was a lot to take in.
3, 2, 1. Happy New Year.
Wait, so that is a different fish then? The old fish is gone, and the new fish just looks like the old fish with a monocle? The new fish is the old fish with the monocle inbred. That seems lazy. And weird. Why? Why is this fish here? How does the fish fit into the story? I don't really understand how the fish fits into this narrative, honestly. It seems a little strange. A little bit of a stretch. The fish is dead, long live the fish. I guess so. The fun Halloween, yeah, okay, so this is, I recognize the building. I recognize the laboratory.
Now await your imminent demise, monster.
Okay.
So, I know
You're Pazuzu?
how this ends.
Okay. Seemed sort of forced, but...
Sorry, his message is
That's the
pre-recorded.
bomb,
I can't
right?
be here to
Correct?
listen to his long remark. Good luck with being dead. Bye.
We defused the bomb, though. We defused the bomb, though.
Except everything was in shambles when I found her.
I think he thinks... The bomb didn't go off.
I believe this is
Bomb
also
didn't-
from
Okay.
the dragon, How to Train Your Dragon.
That's it? You set up like an elaborate three-year
the show
long
with the
plan.
Daenerys.
You set up an
Oh,
elaborate
you sweet summer
three-year
child.
long plan.
That's it. Oh, you sweet summer child. I believe that's also from there.
We solved this in like 20 minutes. Okay. All right. That's cool, I guess.
So, word of warning in advance. She doesn't realize that she did not solve the problem, and she will remain in denial about it for some time. I believe she's finally accepted this. Since this point in time, she accepts that she blew up, but just a heads up for anyone a little squeamish about people exploding. I don't think it's too graphic, though.
Yeah. Okay. So Vsauce was Pazuzu. And, I'm not just an idiot. I was convinced to do stupid things that almost killed me twice.
That is fair.
3 times.
Okay, well, it gets less fair
I'm a
the more
little
attempts,
gullible, but I'm not as stupid as I thought I was. So that's something. That's pretty good. I would say that's a good note to end on, right? I get to live this time. Whatever that was just happened. And we're good. Thank you all for joining me. for this.
Don't know how much of this we need to still watch, but want to get any details that I may have missed before.
Yeah. Like a 5-year investment plan? God, I hope not. I would like to think we're done with this. I mean, they seem to think I'm dead, so I mean that's pretty cool, right? Only 3 times. I mean, 3 prominent times tied to Pazuzu, I guess.
Chat, I see a lot of you up there as well in the other chat.
Well, there we go. That's okay. That's good to know. Also, hi, Halbrook. Good to see you. Under great circumstances. It is after 11. I did not blow up.
I regret to
think
inform you,
Pazuzu's
Halbrook, these are
already
not
checked
good
out, so we're
circumstances.
pretty good right now. Yeah. Thank you all for joining me today. I had a good time. I was kind of freaking out there for a while, but in the end, it ended up being a pretty chill night. If not a little bit weird. Now can we watch Bill Nye? Yeah, we'll watch some Bill Nye after the stream. That seems like a good idea. Thank you. I hope you have a good night as well. But for now, I think we should, I guess look into raid targets, shouldn't we?
Yes, that's it then.
And I got a swanky new choker. That's right. So we did make it out ahead in the end. Not bad at all. All's well that ends well. That's right. So things to look forward to coming up now that Halloween season's done. I still want to finish Homebody because we didn't quite get that done this last weekend. And I want to get back into Final Fantasy 15 because we started that and did like nothing with it.
I hope she finished
October
that.
started, but like, I didn't have that much time to stream, but I gotta dedicate Halloween month to spooky games. So we'll finish our in-progress spooky game. We might come back and finish the rest of these Dread X collection. And yeah, November is kind of spooky too, and I like kind of continuing the spooky, but there's also other stuff I'm wanting to get to.
Been 7 months and we did not get back into... Oh.
We gotta get to...
oh, I see.
I've been wanting to start Nia Replicant as well, which I know it's
not very good at schedules, is she?
I just like playing things. Even if I don't have enough time. I just want to play all the games. And I might play 1 or 2 other spooky things. Like, I bought, God, what is the game called? Dusk. Dusk? Is it called Dusk? That was one I was interested in that I picked up on sale.
She does talk a lot, doesn't she?
No, it's a very nice line.
That's okay.
You don't have to say.
That's what I do too. I can't really blame her.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we
Hydrate.
headed?
Thank you. Thank you.
So many options. Give me a moment to figure out where we're going. Oh yeah,
I may have
so
had a few Radaritas tonight, but
got in contact with Nia. We're gonna
I
have
can
Nia
do another
back.
one.
For those who didn't
wait,
Nia
hold
back
up, wait.
She was a mouse.
Hold on. I was mentioned
here.
here.
With Nia. Let's see. Where are we headed? Let's see. So many options. Give me a moment to figure out where we're going. Oh yeah, and so we have Nia Week coming up soon. Got in contact with Nia. We're
that
gonna have
didn't
Nia
happen.
Back. For those who didn't meet Nia,
no, that didn't happen. Nia Week did not happen.
She isekai'd herself into our world and ended up in my apartment for some reason, and people liked her, so we're gonna bring her back. There's also gonna be the cat stream at some point when I.
No, do not bring the cat back. Well, if you bring the cat back, I won't have to deal with the cat anymore. Bring the cat back. Vera, I told you not to watch the stream, but if somehow you end up watching the stream, bring the cat back. That cat's been tormenting me. That cat's been hanging out outside of my box. That cat's been hanging out outside of my office. That cat will not leave me alone. That cat has been following me since last year. Please, take the cat. Have the cat stream. The cat is a bigger threat to me than it is your computer. Okay? Please. I'm begging. Although, if you're watching this, please stop. I don't want you to watch this stream. Thank you.
Feel up to getting my...
No cat Xneist. I will not stream with the cat. I will not stream with the cat. Never.
Stuff demolished. Yeah, Nia's gonna come back. So look forward to that.
When are we playing Dusk?
Perfect timing for Elf Bowling. I mean, we're getting into Elf Bowling season.
We could try it, potentially.
Yeah, still a lot of good stuff coming up. I think today we are gonna head over to Gooch's channel. And that should be fun.
So,
that seems
about
like a good time.
the Nia
So let's
week.
Vera did on the first Manuel, and also Versi. Watch out for Verbi and Versi. I still like
I had You did the first back in April of last year. You can't do the first every time. There's only one first. Is it first per stream? Because it seems like it can be redeemed forever.
Verby, because it's like verb. It's what you do. Oh no! What does verby do? A lot of things. That's what the word means.
Anyway, Nia Week never
Hello,
happened.
Booba. Hello, Manuel.
Vera did get in touch
And
with
verby,
me.
there's just the entire alphabet.
Oh, backup detonation. Yes, I see it. Anyone didn't see it. The top right of the frame, the TV just changed.
Anyway, let's see what Gooch is up to.
So there was an additional bomb. So the bomb did get defused, but there was an additional bomb or additional reactivation of the original bomb, I suppose.
Gucha. Verri.
Yes.
Verpi. Something else.
Oh, is this a bit? This is a bit,
What is Verpi? Is that like a math thing? That sounds like a math thing.
She's
got down there. I don't know what you're talking about.
very
That's not a very
oblivious.
good raid message though. Read backrooms, wiki or else.
Although I guess it'd be easy to miss
Spooky.
the TV.
Hold on, Spooky. Pazuzu. Help me out here. Pazuzu.
I also noticed that statue is in the locker there. It wasn't there when I went there last. It may have been there in pieces. Understand that I did come to the lab. You see, I was supposed to meet up with Vera. We were in contact. We were supposed to have a week where I would come back to stream in November of last year. However, she was not returning my calls, and I came looking for her, only to find this place was rubble. It was not in any condition. It was very not great.
Jigsawed by Pazuzu, and all I got was this. Okay, you're already on the same path as me. Perfect. Jigsawed by Pazuzu, and all I got was this stupid raid message. That's it. Yeah, you were thinking the same thing as me. Statue stole talkies and didn't blow up your head? I guess not.
It's that statue from that one Gorillaz album. Was Pazuzu in a Gorillaz album?
Yeah. We're rating Gucha, who's playing
the band, not the animal, right?
Escape the back
Correct.
And raid message is Jigsawed by Pazuzu.
They're cartoon people.
And all I got was the stupid.
You could have a band of gorillas too, like actual
gorillas.
gorillas.
See you all next time. Have yourselves a great week. I'll see you soon for some of that stuff we were talking about. And
so when.
Yeah, that's it. Have a good one. Happy Halloween, everybody. Goodbye. Did I do the raid message right this time? I did.
Oh my god, okay. Yes, alright, okay. Well, there it is. There's the... Well, now we've seen what happened. For those who didn't see it, I know a little better than I did before. Okay, so that brought up a few points. I need to mention to you all. So first of all, I was supposed to get in touch with her the week following about the Nia week that was going to be happening on stream, but she was not returning my calls, clearly because she was in an explosion. Which we'll get more to. Further, hold on, I'm getting another Ratarita. I need it right now. Little stressed, little tense, little... If you blow up, it's a skill issue. I mean, that is a fair assessment. A Ratarita, by the way, is like a margarita, except you're a rat and you're drinking it. It's a special recipe I came up with. It's not a special recipe. It's just a stupid name I've been calling margaritas. It's okay. Just don't blow up. Problem solved. Anyways, I tried to get in touch with her, but she was not returning my calls. In fact, I even came back to her apartment. This very apartment we're in right now. I came back here in November of last year looking for Vera. Yet she was not here. which was made even more strange when I saw her streaming from her apartment. But she was not here. She was not in her apartment. It wasn't her apartment at all, and I wish I got a clip from that part because I realize now that I forgot to get one. She seemed to be in some sort of ethereal fake version of her own life that was going on there for a while. And somehow broadcasting from there and not the real space. Because I could be in the same place she was inhabiting, and she clearly was not there at all. With your size, margaritas must be cheap as heck. You get one human-sized drink, and you could probably keep that for months. Well, I don't get paid well. I don't know why wages are scaled by size in this world, but being paid at a 16-centimeter wage, you can't afford a whole lot. So it actually takes a lot of months to even buy one margarita. Unfortunately. It's a really bad policy, if you ask me. But tonight I need it. Anyway, I was here, she was here, but she wasn't here. It was very confusing. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. It didn't make any sense. And then it continued to be strange as I would pop into streams from time to time. And I began to notice things like her engaging with others. But she herself wasn't there. That's not supposed to be playing. Let me get rid of that. Sorry, I've got too many things on the screen. Like, for instance, we had an award show.
Okay, well, yeah.
All
right.
I don't need the audio for that. I just needed the clip to prove that it existed.
It wasn't the most.
It wasn't.
Engaging with friends as if nothing happened. Yet it appeared she wasn't there at all. How can she physically be in this world while not being in this world? How were people seeing her if she wasn't there? I don't understand. I think I'm starting to, though. I think slowly the pieces are starting to fit together a little bit. I don't even know what this clip is. I have it muted on my end. Could be anything. Deleting it, though. And then, again at New Year's.
What do you two have coming up? You have anything you want
Once
to
more,
promote?
engaging with people as if nothing
Any big
happened.
things you're doing? Watch it, you're back. So that's cool.
I'm back. I'm streaming again this year.
New
It's
looks.
2024 now.
New
yeah.
looks, new outfits, new style, and she's not even
Officially back.
You're
not even
gone?
real.
Yeah, I'm
It doesn't
gone
make
for a bit.
sense.
Me too.
No.
Parallel world.
I think I'll be back
So,
like before you. I'm gonna
That's
be
where
back
I'm
in
getting to,
January.
actually.
Yeah, I'm a while.
It
I'm a
is
little.
January.
I'm gonna be a
I
little.
like that
while.
outfit. That's
It is
actually kind of
January.
cute.
Happy January. Happy birthday, January.
Happy birthday,
Happy
January.
January.
Great stream. Wishing you all the best in the new year. Yeah, you too. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for hanging out today. Thank you guys for coming on and hanging out.
That was not the clip I thought it was going to be, but that's okay. That's okay. Let me... pull up
Happy
the other
New
one.
Year, Raid. Happy birthday, New Year.
Where I noticed a slight
Happy
glitch
birthday.
at
Yes,
the end of
happy
this one.
birthday, New Year.
That's-
Happy birthday.
I feel like Happy Birthday, New Year is going to be a little confusing in translation.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
But-
do they not speak English very well?
They use a translator, so I feel like that might translate funny. We could just have Happy Birthday Year.
Okay, that makes sense.
Happy Birthday 2024. Happy Birthday 2024. There you go.
Maybe that
That's the
explosion
one.
opened up a gateway to different Veriverses. It's possible.
But yeah, thank
is
you
very
all for
possible.
hanging out today. And I wish you all the best in the coming days.
Ew.
Take care of yourselves.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what everyone's got for 2024.
Yeah, definitely. Lots more fun hangouts too. These are great. I love this stuff. This is the best. All right. I got nothing else. Yeah. Any final words before I click the button?
There's so many beans. So many beans.
Well,
I don't know why
you gotta just finish the beans, Watch. Just finish them.
you just got like a
Finish
lot
your
of
beans,
luck,
watch it.
maybe? I
Watch
don't
it,
know how
finish
that
your
works.
beans.
Too much luck.
Well, the only way to get rid of the luck is to get rid
You
of the
can't
beans.
not
You gotta
finish your
them.
beans.
That's it. That's
What
it.
if that was a bowl of cheese in front of you? You have to finish your bowl of cheese. So finish your bowl of beans.
Yeah, a little bit more, a little further.
That's all there is to it.
All right. Oh, well, an effort was made. All right. Night, everybody. Have a good one. Good night. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.
I hope you. Hello? Hello? Where did she go? Well, they are still there, but she's not there. Well, this only adds to it, I suppose.
Bye. Bye.
Where'd Vera go? I heard that. Where'd Vera go? She just vanished, as if she wasn't even actually there. Hold on, I'm opening a program real quick, and I'm turning the music back on. Window capture, properties, paint. So, just look this up real quick, and then I'm going to explain what I pieced together for you today. And also, I'm going to remove this from the frame because it is in the way. You don't need to see the letter anymore. Virtual? Perhaps. Perhaps. Expand that canvas. I've actually gotten quite a bit better at drawing in this last year since the last time, so I hope you enjoy my improved art skills. They're better than they were. They're growing. They're growing. So, this is me. This is me. I have very luscious lips. I'm very pretty. I know. I understand. This is me. And this right here represents Evelon. The world from which I initially came. Very pretty, thank you. Very cute in yourself. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. So, this is me. And this is Evelon. And, we have they're black sclera. So we need to just do a reductive eye drawing process. Forgot my nose. There we go. And this is Vera. She's got W's for eyes. Meaning that this over here is Eartha. So we have Evelon existing here, and we have Eartha existing here. Right? Now in the world of Eartha, we do have the other worlds. This is Eartha. This is Eartha. It's filled with water, so it's blue. But then the ground is made of dirt, which makes it green. and brown. You know, the grass and the dirt and the mountains. And then the animals live on the surface there, but then you also have the fish living under the water. So there's animals all over, but from a distance, it's just a marble. You're just looking at a marble. Now, if you look at Evilon, Evilon's actually flat. There's no proof that Evilon's not flat. It's hard to convince me that Evilon is not, in fact, flat, because I've never seen it with my own eyes, and therefore, it has to be flat. That's the only thing that makes sense. So we have Evilon over here, similar in a lot of respects. You've got the dirt, you've got the grass, and then all of the animals live here and form societies, just as they do on the Earth. Now, when you compare the two of these, they do have some pretty major differences. However, they are comparable. They are comparable. Vera's not typical, though. This is not a typical being of this world. And that is because Vera's constructed. Vera's made of robotics. Robotics and other things. She was constructed in a laboratory, and so she's not the example of the typical Eartha person. Not the typical Eartha person would be more like this. Here we have let's say this is Joe. This is Joe. And Joe works for a large corporation. And despite being an imbecile and a piece of shit and the worst person I've ever had the experience of knowing, and frankly someone who deserves to be set on fire and thrown off of a skyscraper for being a horrifically awful boss, and only there because, you know, his family had money and he got the job from his father who had the job previously. And make your own fucking coffee. That's not my job. How about you work like a real person? Respect those around you and don't be a little bitch all the time. Sorry, I'm gonna get a drink real quick. One moment. Sorry. Excuse me. Anyway. Okay, let's not use that example. We're not going to use that example. We're not going to use that one. We're going to... This is Susan. Susan is a human, which are the dominant species of this planet. Susan has human ears. Human ears are very different. Yeah. So this is Susan, right? Susan's your typical person. Susan is typical person. Vera's atypical. So you can't really... This does not invalidate Vera. It's just that Vera's not your typical representative of what it is to be on Earth. Now, we're not just talking about Earth, though, right? Because this is Earth, but we also have Mars and Venus and the other planets, too. All of the planets, and then the sun. We also have a sun over here. And then presumably all the other planets are also flat, but they look like circles in the sky. But I insist that it's flat because it's hard to imagine it not being flat. It's similar. It's similar over here too. It's a whole solar system. Yes. So, not all creatures. Well, there aren't many creatures that live in other parts of the solar system, but there are amoebas, or maybe little microscopic creatures, little tiny creatures. But then you might go beyond the solar system, and you might find other creatures beyond people, or the other animals of this planet, the cats of this planet, or anything else, really. The blue hedgehog was not a real thing, that was just from Sonic, but like, all of the other animals have there's a certain logic that everything follows when they exist within that plane of existence that contains Earth. And reason would state that if you go to other worlds within the same system, they're going to, not solar system, but just major overarching system of life, of growth, of evolution, of time, of reality, a system of reality, that they would follow some degree of the same logic in how they came to be and how they function. Just like things in Evelon will all tend to follow a similar logic to the things that happen here, or here, or here, or here, or here, or here, etc. But not here. This is where you go if you want to be on fire and die. Don't go there. Don't go there. That's not a good idea. Now, we're going to step away from this graphic for a second, because I need to touch on something that was brought to my attention when we were watching that video from Halloween. I'm sure the acid is around here somewhere. Hello, Minaxi. Welcome. Welcome in. I am doing the Nia Report. I am Nia. We are presenting evidence of information in regards to Vera. One moment while I find where this is saved. I believe it should be... There it is. There it is. Okay, so bringing this back up. I paused on this when we were watching the video to comment on it, and the inaccuracy of the information. You see, in this last year, while I may have worked several jobs, and I did not get fired from any of them because I'm very good at the work I do, I worked in a lab that did DNA testing. Now, when did I work in this lab? Well, it was a very short time, actually. I began working in this lab following a visit to Vera's lab, because I wasn't able to get in touch with Vera, and I didn't know what was going on, and she wasn't at her home, but I kept seeing her on stream. So I went to her lab, which is why we're going to put this graphic away again, and we're going to go back over to here, and we're going to start a new document. When I went to Vera's lab, I entered the room. The room that you saw in the footage. Rooms have walls. Now, where you saw her in the video is here. And I came in from over here. This was here in the video, but it was down on the floor when I got there. The locker. There were counters over here, but they were broken and destroyed. I hope this is showing up okay on stream. Or at least you can somewhat understand what's going on here. I came in here, and I found that everything was incredibly demolished, which is clear and makes sense now that we saw that everything got blown up. Over here there was a closet. I went into that closet. When I went into that closet, I dug around a little bit while looking for Vera's whereabouts. And what I found were the blueprints. The blueprints. They're blue? They're blue. Well, I tried. They're blue. And they had the diagram of the entirety of the building on them. Now, let me find that graphic. Again, I had all these graphics ready, and then the computer crashed 3 times over. So I do not have them ready anymore, but I remember where they are at. So, you go here. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with me for this presentation. I put a lot of work into this presentation. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. It's been a long time coming. Where do we go? We go to this folder. We go to this folder. We don't go to that folder. I lost the file I was looking for. That sounds about right, honestly. Wait, here it is. Here it is. I found it. Okay. So. Let me just screenshot this so you don't need to look at everything. just the important bits. Go here, 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 here. Blueprints. I found blueprints in the back room. So if you look at the bottom left of the frame here, the bottom left of this blueprint, that is the room that I illustrated so clearly in my picture. And if you move from the bottom left to the center bottom, you will notice a doorway leading into a back room. That back room... I'm sorry, I miscalculated. Okay, pretend we're looking at that part. You know what? We'll just cut off the bottom. I'm bad at reading maps, but trust me, this is better. Okay, so there's a row of rooms in the front. There's a row of rooms in the front. Ignore the front row. So the very bottom 3 rooms you see on the picture, that's the front row. We weren't doing any work there. I came in the elevator, which is this long, tall cylinder, or long, tall rectangle on the far right. And this large central room was the room that I found exploded and in shambles. Other rooms were, of course, also damaged, but this one had the blunt... The blunts? It had the bulk of the damage was in this room. And this is where Vera was when she exploded. So, I found this room in the back right of this bottom floor was the storage where I found the blueprint. And when I found the blueprint, I was unaware that there was another level above the level we were currently on. This level right here, which is not connected to the lab in any... Is it Brunts? Is that actually the word? Okay, I thought it was right. Thank you. So this room is not actually attached to the lab at all. And so that is where I decided to check after I had finished exhausting the rest of the laboratory rooms and couldn't find any sign of Vera. Now, what did I find when I went into this room up here? Well, for one, I needed a special key, which I found in the back room of the laboratory to even access it, because it seemed to have a higher security clearance. Okay, this song is giving me very uncomfortable flashbacks to dragon situations. I need it to go. This is pleasant. This is nice. Okay. New graphic time. New graphic time. Larger brush. So, what did I see that day? What did I see when I entered the room above the lab? As far as I can tell, I've seen no records of Vera herself ever going up to this room. I've gone through old videos looking for any evidence of this area, and it's never been shown in a stream. I've never heard it mentioned as a place that Vera has gone either, so I was very unfamiliar with it, and there was very little information on the blueprint to really know what would be in there. There really wasn't a whole lot in there. It was a large, charred out room. It was dark. It was somewhat musky. There was no lighting. The walls were stone. The floor was stone. There was nothing there. It was rather eerie, really. But I brought a lantern with me so I could see a little better. It's all right. I understand. I understand the situation with cats is a little different for the humans here. I get it. I understand. It might be something to think about in the future. However, I get it. I understand. I brought my lantern in here so I could try to get a better view. And what I saw in the back of this room, and part of the reason I was shocked at the developments Vera underwent in that video that Pazuzu showed. At the back of the room, there were 3 statues. Now, I didn't get a clear view of them. I need to go back down there and get a clear view of them, but frankly, they make me uncomfortable, and I don't like looking at them. As they all had grotesque and disturbing forms. Similar to the Pazuzu, but not the same. They weren't Pazuzu. There were other forms standing in here along this wall. And I don't remember their details good, so we're just gonna rush them out there. It was all very dusty and dark. Except this area here, which, you know, if we put 2 and 2 together, you could probably guess what was here, right? There's one piece that makes the most sense that would go there that wasn't there when I got there. There were only these 3 statues. That's not the only thing that was in the room, though. In fact, the reason I can't describe the statues in detail is because that's not what drew my attention when I entered the room. There was one much more important item. I'm going to try to draw this as best I can. Somewhat like that. It had a slight glow to it. That is not a slight glow. There's a slight glow to it. You could very vaguely see a form inside. Glass, do we know what this is? This is your final, since you were asking about the final. It's a cocoon. It's a cocoon. That's right. Of course, moth. Yes, moth. That makes... Of course, moth would be the one. Yeah, no, it was a cocoon. There was a giant cocoon. So, interestingly, when we were watching that video Pazuzu showed, it showed a different cocoon. A different cocoon that Vera was in at an earlier point after pupating, I suppose, at an earlier state. And at this point, Vera had exploded and somehow had reformed in the room above her own lab in a cocoon. Given the state of the laboratory underneath, it seems like her body would not have survived the blast. And yet here her body is in the room above the lab that, as far as I'm aware, Vera herself has never entered of her own accord. So how did her body get here? Well, getting back to the lab work. Pazuzu got smashed or left or whatever, and those are 3 other demons he doesn't escape. I think so. I think that might be possible. You see, as we mentioned with Pazuzu, Pazuzu was a force of destruction, but also very territorial and protective of other demons. Which, for one, would explain it not wanting to stay alongside these other demons necessarily if its allegiances weren't there. But also, why was Pazuzu pursuing Vera for 3 years? Why was Pazuzu pursuing Vera for 3 years, but not these other demons? If we could say that the statue of Pazuzu was channeling the spirit of Pazuzu, then it's very possible these other statues might channel the spirits of other demons. I try to avoid the statues for that reason, as I don't want to encounter these demons in case they are just as violent in tendency. So, why did I start working as a lab technician? Well, I'll tell you why I started working as a lab technician. I'm sorry, this seems very roundabout, but all of the pieces connect together in a very deliberate, important way. You have to understand. I lost the diagram again. Let me find it again. How does that keep happening? Stream assets, stream assets, stream assets, stream assets. Thank you for the stickers. Thank you for the... I need stickers. I'm not here enough to get stickers, but I would like stickers. So glad. Well, I'm glad it's appreciated. I am quite the detective. You know, my experience may have come from a video game I played 1 year ago, but I think I have the making of a great detective, and that's why if anyone's looking for a freelance detective and willing to pay me, let me know, because I am up to the task. I am, in fact, up to the task. So, the reason I started working in that lab was following these events. You see, I was in a brief period of unemployment. Well, I was exploring my options because I wanted to change my career path. And then this happened. And so I took on the lab technician job, and I took a scraping from the cocoon. Now, when I saw this graphic pop up earlier, it caught me off guard because the numbers don't match up. I went to that lab and I got a test done, and, you know, it could have cost me my job. In fact, it did cost me my job, except it didn't cost me my job because I left on my own terms, because I did a great job and I didn't get fired for using the lab for my own purposes. Earth has movies about a great mouse detective, more content for you to consume. I would very much like to consume that. Thank you for the information. So let me find the information I have, because I have the lab information saved right about Delaware tour. You guys went to Delaware? Is it nice? Is it cheaper than here? If it's cheaper than here, I might consider. Here are my notes, though. I found them. Alright. So let's update this to be accurate and not wrong anymore. Texts for texts. I think Derek's from there. I can believe that. Derek is a horse. I have met Derek. Derek is a horse that does not know boundaries. Derek gets a little too close sometimes, but I'm sure Derek means well. So we have the inn. Oh, that is large. Why is this font so large? Vera, why is this so big? Stop it. Okay, that's too small. So we have the inorganic. What are the elements we have here? We have the inorganic elements, which consist of old computer components, primarily. That makes sense. That makes sense. I didn't get the computer part, but there was definitely a lot of stuff that wasn't normal DNA. It's very strange when things that aren't genetic pop up when you're doing testing of DNA. How it gets there, I don't know. But it does. It finds a way. We've got the Ranga for a fish. We have reindeer. Sepia. Ranga for Tyrannus. Officinalis was the cuddle. Okay, well, I don't need to use science words. We're fine. And then Coloradia okay, moth. We got the moth here. And then we've got the quote-unquote IDK lol category. Inorganic material did not make up 78.7% of the DNA result. It made up 41.5% of the results. Moth mention, that is right. Well, there will be more moth mention soon. Reindeer did not make up 8.6% of the result. It made up 21% of the results. Cuttlefish did not make up 11.4%. It made up 26%. These are rounded out, by the way. I didn't bother keeping the long form. Probably should have. That's okay, though. Moth did not take up, this one's actually a very huge jump, did not take up 0.01%. It took up 2.5%, which, considering the cocoon frankly, I'm surprised it's not higher than that. Well, the test does seem very off, right? And I think part of the reason that old test might be as off as it is because of the IDK lull factor. Because I think the IDK lull factor was a lot lower. But the IDK lull factor might also be what contributed to the reconstruction of Vera Proxima's body after she exploded. Now we minimize this. Back to the pain. So, back to where we were. I am more familiar with magic. I do have a fair understanding of science, but you have to understand science in my work is a lot more intrinsically linked to magic. There's a lot more channeling. There's a lot more information you need to know when you are a dungeon crawler that is tied to the arcane, or in some cases, the occult. I spent a couple weeks. It actually didn't take too long. They're not that hard to make, really, but I made a channeling device so that Vera, who was clearly not dead, only somewhat dead, could communicate. I don't know if it would have worked if she was completely gone, but she wasn't. She was not completely gone at all. So I pulled together what I could with what was available to me, and I made a device out of an old record player that I rewired and hooked up to the cocoon. And then there is a receiving end to that record player. That is actually tucked away right now, but usually it's in the apartments. This thing was a pain in the ass to make, by the way. And once again, Vera, you really aren't supposed to be watching this part, but if you are watching this part, I have something I need to say to you right after I take another drink. You know how fucking hard it was to put that shit together? Do you know how fucking hard it is to move things that are larger than you? How backbreaking it is to have to push around giant record players? Do you not understand the amount of work I did to help? You owe me. You owe me, okay? You owe me. You owe me. Big time. This was so much work. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to what we were doing. Back to what we were doing. So I got that hooked up. And it was a process. It was a process that took a long time. So that's how she's been able to communicate with you. And it seems like it's been working out okay. She's not been super happy about it, but listen, beggars can't be choosers. Okay? I did what I could to help her when she needed help. But I took that DNA sample that I took in the lab, and the lab could only collect so much information on it. However, as I mentioned, I have a knowledge of things beyond just the sciences. I have a knowledge of things arcane. I have a knowledge of things occult. Which is why I wish I didn't delete my original drawing, but now we're going to have to start the original drawing over again. Maybe I should look into saving things. Alright, speedrun, whatever. We've got me over here. I'm over here. I'm over here. I got my ears. I'm beautiful. I've got long flowing hair. I deserve a promotion and a good job. That's me. I'm very pretty. I'm the prettiest, actually. I got my great hair, and I'm gorgeous. That's me. Okay, so, and then this is the Ivalon. I may have been drinking a little too many Radaritas at this point. I apologize. And this is Eartha. And as we mentioned, Earth and then you got Earthman here. This is Stephen Earth. Stephen Earth is from Earth. Stephen Earth lives on Earth. Stephen Earth is the human. Stephen Earth has cool shoes. Now you know. Oh, I almost knocked my drink over that time. Everything that lives within this column follows a specific set logic. Everything that lives within this column follows a specific set logic. There are more columns alongside these columns that all have their own people, their own rules, but they're all somewhat interconnected. It's like a rainbow. You don't have one color of the rainbow without the others. All of them are connected. You've got the blues, you got the greens, you got the oranges. I don't know what colors are in order in a rainbow, but the point is, they're all there. They're all connected. They're staying in their own lane. They're staying in their own lane. They're doing their own thing, but within a reason. There's individualized logic between each plane of being. Each plane of being has its own logic that works its own way, but they all have shared characteristics. Those shared characteristics are the greater collective knowing, the greater collective being, the essential forces that bond all of the dimensions, all of the realities together. There is one overwhelming rule set that controls all sub-rule sets that control all systems. The physics here are different than the physics here, but certain aspects of the physics will carry over between both of them because that's what this divine connecting force does. This is the connecting force that keeps everything reasonably connected. Hello, dear Mid. Welcome. We are doing a science lesson. Some would consider it science, some would consider it pseudoscience. You have to understand, we're not dealing with the science of this realm particularly. We're dealing with the science of many realms, and therefore the logic to how the science works isn't necessarily referred to as science within each of the realms of being. But you know what I mean. It's all vibes, baby. That's one way to look at it. But all these vibes are connected. There's a connecting vibe theme to all of them. And so everything has to fit within this framework. And if you fit within this framework, you stay within this framework. Things do not leave this framework. There are freak chances. The Isekai situation. I was in an Isekai situation, and that Isekai situation moved me from mine to this one. But from moving from this lane into this lane, I was still inside of the framework. Once you are in the framework, you cannot leave. The only forces that can move between different planes of existence are forces that are either forced against their will to change from one location to another, or forces that originate outside of these planes of existence altogether. Let me get some more Ratarita real quick. Hold on. It's very rare that they are encountered. But there have been sites of beings that come from beyond the framework. There are, in fact, beings that exist outside of this framework and come from the outside. Are they always to be feared? It's hard to say. But they're foreign in a way you can't even imagine. And what may appear as destructive energy might just be, a basic form of living for them. It might just be how they function on their own system level. It is like demons, but even demons are somewhat within the framework. You see, Pazuzu exists within this timeline. Pazuzu is here. I don't know how to draw Pazuzu. What does Pazuzu even look like? Pazuzu's got eyes and teeth. I don't know what Pazuzu looks like. I'm a little too rat drunk right now, please understand. Butterfly wings. Yeah. That's Pazuzu. Pazuzu's got the big butterfly wings, and then that creepy smile. But that still comes from this plane of existence. There is a knowing. It's a deep level that most cannot access, but it does exist here. These creatures are different. They're indescribable. They're unknowable. I wouldn't... There's no way to put these things into words. They're like demons, but they're like demons not from beyond the stars, but demons beyond comprehension. They're IDK law. That's what the IDK law is. But the thing is, when you crawl dungeons as long as I have, and I've crawled dungeons for a while, but not too long because I'm still very young and spry and youthful. But when you've traveled dungeons, sometimes you find shrines to these creatures, worshippers of these creatures, and you become aware of their presence. And it is very rare for anyone to actually encounter them. However, traces of their presence can be felt, and traces of their quote-unquote DNA can be as well. But we have raiders. Let's go back to the office for a second. Hello. Hello, Rune with it. Welcome. Welcome, raiders. Hello, I am Nia. I am Nia Tama. I am not Vera. Vera's not here today. I'm doing a special broadcast. But welcome in. I'm a rat from a different world. I got isekai'd here. I'm a little drunk. I've been drinking a lot of margaritas tonight because I keep having to think about my job. I don't like my job very much. But also, there's been a lot of weird shit going on. So we're talking about that. But I hope you had a good stream. Welcome the Dizzy Hunter, and Rune with it. What were you up to today? Playing Grounded. Good. Good. I hope you were having a good time with Grounded. I hope you weren't, in fact, grounded yourself. That's more of like a child thing, getting grounded. I guess you're also grounded if you can't fly a plane. There is that, too. Anyway. Thank you for the raid. This is a very atypical stream. As I am not a streamer, I am just kind of here. But I appreciate seeing you. You've only been partially grounded, so you're still good. Good, I'm glad to hear it. I think the characters you play in that are roughly the same size as me. Oh. I might have to look into that. That actually sounds kind of fun then. Maybe the developers know something about home. It's possible. I've been trying to find my way home for a while. Instead, I work odd jobs and get fired a lot. I don't get fired. I never have been fired in my life. I'm a good worker. I'm a very good worker, I promise. I'm not getting your fucking coffee for you again, though. You have a coffee machine, dude. You just did abusing your power. Stop it. Stop it. Sorry, I'm distracted again. Back to the topic at hand. What were we saying? Oh, beings from beyond comprehension. Strange creatures that don't follow the logic of any of our realms. There have been many interpretations of these beings over the years. We, in Evilon, refer to them as the Outblood. Anything that, while we have not met the originators of the Outblood, sometimes traces of their existence do form into our world, and they're some of the most horrific, grotesque things you could possibly imagine, but cranked up to 11 because it's unimaginable. That's the whole point of what I've been saying this whole time. It's the Outblood because they don't fit into the framework. So some people use... There have been many interpretations. I think Eldritch is a very common interpretation. It's not quite the same, but that's kind of in the same ballpark. But that's just based off of random weirdo fiction. Whereas this is based off of the real inner workings of the universe. Because this is real. You have to understand. Why do they call it Outblood when you oven the blood of out and out? Am I having a stroke right now? I may be. Maybe. So if you want to call it a demon, you could. I am in fact having a stroke. Hello, Ramathal. Welcome. Well, welcome to my stroke stream. I'm having a stroke and hopefully entertaining you all while I do it. Where'd the thing go? Where'd the other thing go? There it is. Yeah. Okay. So IDK lol is actually the outblood, which is not very lol worthy. These beings, while few have ever seen them with their own eyes, have brought great destruction to my world in ancient times, and I believe that in different forms they've brought great destruction to a number of planes of existence. I would consider them different from demons. As in the case of Pazuzu wanted to destroy it. And Pazuzu, as someone who is very territorial and defensive, would very much want to destroy something that does not fall into its own understanding of a demon. This is 9%. Up from 1.2. So there's your actual breakdown of DNA. I imagine that the destruction of Vera Proxima's corpse resulted in some sort of force, possibly related to the outblood, reconstructing her body in that very room that I illustrated to you all earlier. And in the process of reconstructing her body, the breakdown has changed a great deal. Now, the reason I brought all of this up to you today and went off on over 2 hours of this. I mean, to be fair, a lot of it was about me. It was just nice catching up with you all. The reason I bring this up to all of you, and not Vera, you see how she reacted to being a robot. You saw how she reacted when she found out she wasn't human. It was a little dramatic. I mean, I get it, but it was a little dramatic. So finding out that you're held together and reassembled from the brink of death by forces from beyond the stars might also be a little traumatic. So I'm not really sure if she should know, but it did seem important that the information make it out there. And that's the end of my TED Talk. That's really all I have for you. Actually, that's it. That's the entire presentation. Thank you. You want to see the cool art of me again? You want to see the drawing I did? I could put that up again. But the presentation's pretty much done at this point. Anyway, I don't know if you should tell Vera about this, but yeah, she's got some weird DNA. She's got some weird DNA. Weirder than she realized. And also, she's gonna be okay. She needs to quit doing stupid shit that gets herself killed. That's not so great. Luckily, she's got weird beings going to bat for her, I suppose. I need to move this so it's not in front of the stickers. There we go. There's the star. So where's Vera? Vera's in the cocoon. Vera's in the cocoon. She does have her broadcast box that I made for her. However, I specifically told her not to come tonight because I did not want her to know about these details because they could be a little shocking. It's a lot to take in for someone who apparently is very good at making very stupid judgment calls. What if we drop a vague hint or two, or maybe I don't know. Whatever you think is best. The ball's in your court. I've worked off and on with her since last year, but I believe that you all probably know her a lot better than I do. I've had few actual interactions with her despite showing up in her apartment and trying to work with her. I gave her a channeling device to talk from quote-unquote beyond the grave. but I've still barely talked to her myself. It's very business. But a lot of you, I trust your judgment. I trust your judgment on how to handle this. Anyway, let me get that picture up so you can admire it. And be wow. Wow, Nia. You are the best artist. Oh, that's right, I can't open PDFs inside of OBS. Your sense of caution probably gets a bit wonky after you come back from death. I think so. I think so. The fact that she managed to get herself killed multiple times is a little concerning. Just a smidge. Where's their application? Where's the thing? Properties. Goodbye, paint. Hello, untitled presentation.pdf. Oh, then I have to close this too. I drank a lot of Rataritas tonight, chat. I think I drank too many Rataritas tonight. But also, look at that art I made. Isn't it pretty? It's very nice. I did very good. I might become an artist. I might just be an artist. A little bit too many. What goes into a Ratarita? A margarita, but you're small and you get a lot more mileage out of it. I will become an artist. I don't have to work at company anymore. Fuck them. They can fix their own copier. They can take their own calls. They can get their own coffee. I didn't even drink coffee before that job, and now I'm addicted to it because I'm tired. I can't even sleep at night. I can't even sleep at night because I'm drained. I'm drained. How is this living? I miss dungeons. I miss exploring dungeons. I miss my homeworld. I want to go back to the dungeons. It's very cute. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I mean, what I mean to say is that I'm doing great. What I mean to say is that I'm doing great, and I'm thriving. I'm doing great. I'm thriving, and I'm very employable. Thank you for coming out today. Thanks. Thanks. I didn't draw these ones. They're nice, though. This one's kind of cool. My flips aren't that nice. Thank you for the head pats. I like that one, too. I'm doing great. To the office. Anyway, I know we got some raiders recently, but we're actually going to wrap up here and find a place to send you all. Thank you all for coming out today. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun talking with you all. I know we dealt with some serious business, but also, it's been nice catching up after a year. It's been nice catching up with everyone. Love and support Veranda's household. What if we dropped a vague hint or two? Sorry, I realize I missed some of the chat because my brain is not working anymore. How often do you get a chance to relax like this? Not very often. Not very often. I don't really feel like streaming is for me, but you know, maybe I'll try to pop on more than once a year. We'll see how it goes. Fuck company, all my homies hate. Yes, DJ, I like you. I think we'll get along just fine. You get it. You understand. Thank you for the head pat. Thank you. I'm 16 centimeters. That might be 3 apples. It's close. Close anyway. Thank you for the information. You're welcome. Do with it what you will. I hope you all have a good night as well. It was a lot of work, so I'm glad you enjoyed it. Pleasure seeing you again. Pleasure seeing you too. Job catches your attention. Thank you. I appreciate it. My job's great, and I love it, but I'll take literally anything. I'm not desperate. But if you know of work, please call me first. I don't need it. But I need it. I do. I need it. Get me out of there, please. Please get me out of there. Don't need any green peanut butter. Will do. Wait, what's wrong with the green peanut butter? I'll avoid it, though. That seems like a good idea. Alright, let's see, where's Twitch? Where's the Twitch? But yes, thank you everyone for coming by. Thank you, Raiders, for coming by. I'm sure this is not what you were expecting to show up in, but, it was cool. Hello, Spurbus. Hello. Welcome in. We are just wrapping up, but it is good to see you. Hope you are doing well. I just explained how Vera is only kind of dead, and she's being held together by unknowable beings from beyond space. So that's cool, but also a lot of information, and just if she freaks out, it's on you and not on me. That's all. You keep your eyes and ears open, you'll get out of here. Yeah, ain't we all? Alright, let me find out where we're going. We are going places. Where are we going? We're going places. Who is streaming? I don't know who any of these people are. But they're all follows, so that's a good start. I think that today we're going to go to the E-Ghosts. Yeah, we're going to go to the E-Ghost today. E-Ghost is doing Crisis. I thought it was a collab at first, but that's actually just a bunch of anime PNGs. That's cool. It's a gun game, and there's a forest, and a happy little ghost is streaming it. And I think that can be fun. Ghosts are very on brand for today's topic. Alright. Thank you all for coming out. Have a good night. Have a good week. Make sure to drink water, I say. Mostly meaning myself, because I'm going to need to drink a lot of water after this stream. Ghosts. Out of a thimble. You know, that would actually be a pretty nice drinking glass. I should try that out later. Thank you. Alright. Goodbye, everyone. Have yourselves a wonderful however long it is until I see you again. Hopefully less than a year this time. Alright. See ya.